Welcome to the Dumpster Fire Project, a podcast that memorializes the fantastic and oftentimes catastrophic entrepreneurial journey of two unremarkable middle-aged men.
Welcome back and congratulations everyone. You made it to episode 2. The worst podcast you'll ever hear from us is behind us now and we're ready to rock. In this second episode, we discuss warm versus cold outreach methods, the technologies involved, as well as how critical it is to be headstrong. This is the Dumpster Fire Project.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for powering through episode 1. We're just two guys out here starting our entrepreneurial journey, figuring it out as we go. Basically just having some conversations and decided to hit a record button.
You got that right, Murray.
Yeah, so again, thank you for coming back. Hope you found some value in episode 1, and we're here. We're going to start the conversation off a little bit different this time. If you do want to know more about our background, please go check out episode 1. But for this one, we're just going to dive right into it, start talking about some of our current challenges, our wins, and hopefully there's something in here that you guys can connect with. So my first one is a current challenge. I'm working through trying to contact, you could call it a cold contact, for one of my platforms that I built out. And what I'm finding as I'm building out a new platform is that each one has a better method of cold outreach. And the initial one that I did is actually a cold email. And it didn't work for some reason. I thought, okay, cold email doesn't work anymore. It's dead, whatever. But come to find out, it wasn't that, because as I started reaching out to a whole new industry through cold email, I was actually getting higher response rates than what the average is. And so that was a little bit of a challenge I had and a learning lesson. But now my challenge is knowing that email isn't necessarily dead, that it does work. I need to find a new stream to get into the original industry that I was working with. I've heard a lot of things, whether it's from email, LinkedIn. I've even heard some tricks about Instagram working based on searching for hashtags. I mean, you got to go about this, in a proper manner, in a moral manner. So no spam, nothing like that. And I truly believe that what I'm doing is adding value. So when I do these outreaches, I'm doing it in a professional manner and always keeping the consumer or the person I'm reaching out to in mind. I don't know. What about you, Eric? Have you ever done any kind of outreach like that, or is it just me?
What in the hell is an Instagram? Is that thing where you take pictures with fruit baskets on your head?
Yeah, something like that. You show off all your best pictures.
Okay, well, that's not going to work for me. As you can tell, I got some work to do with social media. I talked about that last episode. I've been off social media for years. I like to be private and alone, and I've avoided social media. So I'm just getting back into Facebook at the moment and LinkedIn. We're going to take it slow, but I understand what Instagram is to an extent. I don't know how I'm going to use that for my platform yet. And also, you said cold a lot. Are you just freaked out because of the wintertime in Michigan right now?
Yeah,
everything's cold.
No, well, that's very true here. It's definitely cold here. We're in the dead of winter, but it's February. The sun's starting to come up a little earlier. It's actually coming out. The clouds are going away. It's that time of year where you can smell and even hear spring. The birds were out a little bit today, but
that's good.
But to directly answer your question,
some warm emails.
Directly answer your question, that's where I'm going. Is warm means, let's say I talk to you and I ask for 3 key contacts or somebody that that might actually be able to use such and such program. That's a little more of a warm link when you could say recommended by John Smith or whoever it is. They're a little more likely to open that up. Or even if you give them a call and say, hey, I was talking to John Smith and he said you guys could really gain some value out of this. What do you think? Are you willing to have a conversation about it? Cold is where you're going out and you're looking through online directories, or one of the newer, crazier things that I never thought about was on Instagram, just looking at the hashtags for certain kind of industries, or if there's a key skill you're looking for. That's a little bit of a different approach. I suppose it'd probably work in any place that has or any platform that has a filter like that. But so that's the difference between warm and cold. It's not just a Michigan-based item.
All right, I'm glad you cleared that up. Well, I don't know why I'm just thinking of this on the podcast, but that's why we're doing this. We're trying to document our journey. At least I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You're light years ahead of me at the moment. I have zero background in business, in sales, or anything other than the time that I worked at Meyer for a few years, and I got pretty good at selling appliances and the marked up radios to friends like yourself who'd come in and buy them. So when I listen to you, you've been, you work in a field, I think, right, where you have to engage a little bit with sales. I suppose I do to a certain extent as an attorney, even though my career's been as a prosecutor. You have to sell your case when you're in court for sure. But I've been interested in some tactics that you've brought up, like these key contacts. You're selling essentially software, a platform, something that somebody can use in a business, or I think you're developing something in the legal field as well. Whereas I'm selling a service, training services. So how can I apply? And that's one thing I haven't got to. I'm building up slowly, trying to build a brand. I haven't really focused much on selling courses yet. I'm just kind of getting everything going and getting my name out there. You're ahead of me. So tell me about this key contact stuff, and what are you doing? How do I market this?
Yeah. Let's see. I would start with trying to figure out where you would go to find the base contacts, but you can do some Google searching and see if there's some groups out there that are already started, whether it's a Facebook group that just talks about the same things that you're trying to train on, or any kind of, like, say, Google search, Bing search, whatever. And then from there, maybe you can find a directory. Otherwise, there might be somebody that you're working with or an office that you know of. I found out that probably for something like you in the professional field, LinkedIn is actually a good way, especially for people who are very busy and either get flooded with emails or just never give a second thought to anything that comes through that doesn't directly relate to their current job or their current challenges. So maybe try LinkedIn or finding a directory and then reach out to them. Just let them know, hey, I'm getting ready to put some valuable content together on this training. And right now, all you're really trying to do is not necessarily sell them or set up a venue to go in and train. Just try and get some contacts that sound interested. And then from there, you can start the conversation, or they can even help you mold what the ideal training would look like. And then usually somebody in there will be the one who will almost basically go to bat for you and say, I know this venue, or I've got a handful of people I can gather. So there's usually more warm contacts inside a pool of warm contacts where they're going to be your key go-to people. But I would suggest maybe LinkedIn for exactly what you're doing.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you said that, because the first thing I did was get back on Facebook. When I first got out of law school in 2010, I think I was one of the only attorneys. I know I was the only attorney in town at that time that was using Facebook, and I was even doing Facebook ads that were dirt cheap. There was a new thing back then called Google AdWords. I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get them at that price again. But I just got back on LinkedIn also, totally different platform from what I remember. And it seems like that's definitely going to be the new hot thing for the professional world. And let me tell you what I'm doing here. I'm going to throw it out there, see what you think about this, because I'm looking at more of a long term. I'm not trying to quit my day job right now. It's not that bad. I don't hate my job. It's a good job. I'm more concerned about the long run. I have enough professional contacts that I can just get on the phone and call various police departments that I've worked with or various prosecutors' offices, and I could get some classes and get some money coming in. But I don't feel like that's going to be a long-term solution. It might give me a little bit of money if I want to keep this as a side hustle. But I think about, can I be doing this in 5-10 years from now? So how do I build a brand right now? What I've been trying to do is focus on getting content out on YouTube, getting content out on Facebook. I'm relearning Facebook, relearning LinkedIn, and getting that stuff out there, letting people check it out. I've also signed up to do a lot of free stuff. I figure, like, for example, I'm trying to speak at the New Mexico District Attorneys Association conference. I emailed the guy and said, listen, I'll do it for free. Because if I go, if I put on a good show, a good presentation at the conference, I have DAs, representatives from all the districts in New Mexico there. Maybe afterwards they come up to me and say, hey, you want to come teach class in my office? So I'm not looking at trying to make a bunch of money right now. I'm looking at more down the road, like realistically 2 to 3 years down the road. And I'm not putting any time limits on it. I'm just kind of estimating that's about how long I think it would take until I'd say, okay, it's time to go full time into the stuff. And to be honest with you, I don't have a clue. I don't know if that's the right way to think about it or not, but that's what I'm trying right now. Next episode, maybe it changes. What do you think?
No, I definitely think you're headed in the right direction. A lot of people I've either spoken with or some mentors that I've learned from, that's a big push. Is just get some free content out there, provide value. The people who are interested will stick. They'll come back to you. They'll ask questions. So I think that's a really good idea. And LinkedIn is the best way to describe it. This is just my personal opinion. It's the professional Facebook. It's morphed into a state where you can reach out to people. It doesn't seem creepy. Again, keep it moral and professional, but it's one of those things where just reaching out to someone. And a perfect example is I was reaching out to some veterinarians, and they're extremely busy, and they're not necessarily always inside of email. And when they are, I'm sure they're trying to catch up. They're flooded. They're focused on their cases. So LinkedIn was a little bit of still a professional way to reach out to them, but it seemed to look personal enough where it caught their attention. And I was getting some feedback, even if I was getting some no thank you. So like, thanks for reaching out, but no thanks, or I'm busy, or just not interested, whatever. I was getting some kind of feedback, but I also got some positive feedback, or if it wasn't them directly, they redirected me to the proper person to talk to in the office. So LinkedIn's an option out there. There's many options. You can get real creative with it. That's one of the other things I've learned along the way is there's a lot of people out there teaching you things, just like we're doing on this podcast. We're just talking out loud, but be creative, make it work for you. If one thing's not working, pivot, try something else. Yeah,
that's the other thing too. A couple of points. You're supposed to be having fun with this. If you're not having fun doing your side hustle if you're thinking about, I'm going to do this side hustle so I can get out of the rat race and get out of doing my day job. If it sucks and you don't enjoy it and you think about, well, shit, I got to come home from work after working all day at a job I hate, and now I'm going to film some YouTube videos and I have no interest in doing that, and that's probably not the right thing that you should be looking at doing. And I've had a couple feelings like that because my thing is I love the law. I loved being a prosecutor, but I got burnt out hardcore, and it makes me question whether I want to, quote, practice law in the future. So when I think about, is this really what I want to do, is do law enforcement training, prosecutor training? But I think about, I'm like, look, that's one of the things I really enjoy doing. I like making the YouTube videos. I'm having a blast doing it. I love speaking. I don't have that stress. If I got to go and prepare an hour speech at the law enforcement academy, I'm not going to spend, 2 weeks staying up till 3 a.m. stressing out like I am over a jury trial. So for me, I've had a lot of questions about it, but it's definitely the thing that I've focused on. I was going to say something about LinkedIn because you brought that up, but I forgot. I'm just getting back into LinkedIn. So if anybody actually listens to this, send us some comments and tell me where I can learn to master it, because it seems similar to Facebook, but I've noticed that people post differently on there. I've been a little hesitant to post stuff on there. I've posted like one of my YouTube videos, and I have another one that I posted on Facebook, but I haven't put it on LinkedIn because I'm not getting any feedback on there. So I don't know if I'm doing it right.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not an expert on it either. I was using it more just for the reaching out to potential contacts. I rarely get on there and post yet. I am more focused on building things in the background and then pushing it through some different avenues. But yeah, if anyone's got any comments or any direction for us, by all means, feel free to send us a comment.
Sure. Well, and here it is. It's been 20 minutes. So we're blabbering on like a bunch of morons here. We're trying to stick to a script somewhat, and we're going to talk about some challenges. So let's see if we can get this in before we scare everybody away. What's the current challenge that you're dealing with right now?
My current challenge is I'm doing a lot of these outreaches. I've got probably 3 different lines in the water right now. I'm trying not to spread myself too thin. I think I've got a good grasp on what are the methods that I want to use to reach out. It's good. I'm getting some feedback. I'm trying to figure out, I have one program completely built out, a couple more on the way, and I'm trying to balance out my time versus money in the sense that I can pay some people to help. I can pay some contractors to help me build out the other new programs that I'm working on, and I can focus on the one that's already done and spend my time being the brand, the voice of my customer, the voice of my company, and pushing that and trying to go get those sales. And then in the background, somebody else is working on the pipeline. So just trying to find a good balance right now. I've got a lot of things going on. It's an exciting time, but there's just not enough time in the day. And to your point, I have those same feelings where some days I still got my day job as well, and I come home and I feel burnt out. But the industries that I'm looking to get into are something that I'm extremely passionate about. A lot of them are animal, pet focused. Music focus is another one. So I have a lot of passions out there other than my day job. So it helps get me up in the morning, and even when I'm burnt out, that's what keeps me going. And some days you just need to take a breath and have fun. Watch a funny video, laugh it off, whatever it is, and get yourself in a positive attitude. And it helps just get right back into working, makes everything lighthearted, and keep moving forward.
Let me ask you this. So you said that you wonder if you're spreading yourself too thin, and you gotta take some breaks, take some breathers. Plus, now we're doing this podcast, so we're even taking up even more time. Yep. Are you looking with your business? Are you thinking, I'm going balls to the wall right now, and I want to get as many customers as I can, and as soon as the business hits, it's out with the day job and full time? Or are you just kind of taking your time? Is it a side hustle? What are you trying to accomplish? And are you getting stressed out by, spreading yourself thin here?
Yeah. So it depends. I tend to go in waves. Seems like every 3 or 4 months, I'm just balls to the wall. Like, gotta get this built so I can just start focusing on it. And then something will happen where I'll make traction. A lot of things are going on in the background, and I can take a breather and enjoy life a little bit. The biggest thing is, I do think after the first almost 6 to 12 months, I did find a better way to balance my time. So I'm feeling a lot less stressed the last 6 months or so with what I'm working on. But I was thinking about that today, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. I love this podcast. I think it's definitely it's a more fun item that I get to do business wise, but it's also, okay, I'm trading this off working on the company right now, but it's good. I also said I was getting into business to provide value and give back, and I really feel like just talking this through, hopefully somebody out there is listening. We appreciate you. Thank you for sticking with us.
Oh my God. And, we're going to look back to the first couple episodes. Like, man, all we did for 20 minutes is say, I hope someone's listening to us. Well, I agree with you. This is by far the most fun thing I did. And I don't even know if it's even productive or has anything to do with what we're doing. But damn it, having a blast doing this.
Yeah, sure are.
All right, my turn.
Yep, go for it.
All right, so I'm gonna try to make this brief. And by the way, attorneys always say that when they get up to the podium. I'm gonna make this brief. Then they talk for 20 minutes. So I'll try to keep this under half an hour.
Nice.
I'm helping my roommate. All right, fine. It's my wife. She's also an attorney. I'm helping her prepare for a case, and in her case, she represents a child, and her job as the attorney is to tell the court what is the best interest of the child. And in this case, the mom is a recovering drug addict who's trying to get clean and get her child back. This isn't a real case. It's a mock trial that she's doing for training, so there's no confidentiality breaches or anything like that. So it's a fake case. But when I was reading the case and I looked at it, it was something that I saw all the time as a prosecutor. I spent 3 or 4 years, all I did was prosecute drug cases. The nasty, dark world of drug cases. So I can tell you anything you want to know about dope, but we'll do that on another podcast. But what I saw when I was helping her is what this mom said in her mock statement is when you're recovering from drugs, it's like having a devil on your shoulder all the time, telling you that everything's going to be okay and just keep doing what you're doing. You know, I started to think about that in the past several months as I'm working my day job, trying to do this stuff on the side. I'm still in this stage where I have this devil on my shoulder. Every day I have these waves where it's like, what the hell are you doing? Are you stupid? All of my friends and family ask me, they say, well, what are you doing? I was like, well, I'm going to try to start this company to provide law enforcement training for prosecutors. So you don't want to practice law? What'd you go to law school for? So I get all these negative thoughts all the time. Then I think, well, am I good enough? Am I smart enough to be able to provide this sort of training? There's already a bunch of companies out there that do it. I haven't even got the social media haters yet starting to rip on me. So I got a lot of negativity going on. And for me, the challenge is learning to shut that knob off on my shoulder, which is boner backwards. We learned that recently. and turn off the noise. And I think anybody that's going to go do this, especially if you have a good paying job and you're trying to tell your wife or your friends at work, like, what are you doing? In my bedroom doing a podcast with my buddy, trying to build a business. You have to figure out a way to stay focused. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. And I think as long as we keep doing stuff like this, reinforcing each other, it'll help. Like you said, it comes in waves. Turn off the noise, focus, get it done. That's what I'm trying to do. That's my challenge.
That's actually a great analogy, a perfect example. We all go through it. I've talked to many other people who've been on this journey and they go through it too. And a lot of times I say, even if you can't find the people around you, like physically, if you can't go talk to them, you can do stuff like this phone call, but you can also find it in books, you can find it in podcasts like this one. And that's one of the big reasons why we're doing this. So you don't feel alone. Even just us talking to it, it helps us. And hopefully somebody's out there listening to it.
Yeah, that's an awesome point. One of the things that has helped me tremendously in toning down the negativity and always gets me going again is I throw on a podcast. I got a 15-minute drive to work. I'll put on one of the Gary V podcasts or David Goggins, somebody that's going to give me inspiration. You see, like, this works if you stick with it. And I think you brought up a good point. Get some books, find, podcasts and stuff that you like and listen to those. It sounds corny, but that inspirational crap, it works. When I feel like kind of stressed out, I'll throw on a podcast in the morning and just like a 15-minute drive, I feel like totally recharged for the rest of the day. The negativity's off. So I think that's a good point.
Yeah, and honestly, I think we'll get into that more in some other episodes as well. There's multiple different talking points to just being mentally strong. How do you find the inspiration? Things like that. So
yeah. Since we're documenting this, I just want to throw this in really quick. We're in like mid-February. My company hasn't made a dime in 2020. I got a couple gigs booked, but we haven't made anything. So I just want to document that when we come back and listen to this.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I'm just building the base myself, so it's not like I have a huge income stream from this yet either. But again, stick with it, building the base, it'll get there. A lot of those inspirational podcasts or videos just talk about just keep yourself in motion, keep moving forward, you'll get it. Don't stop. I remember there was a point, you know what? I'm not even going to share that story yet. I'm going to leave everyone out there just waiting in anticipation. There's
Coming
a good
up
one
in
coming.
episode
Yeah.
3, Murray talks about something. ...
All
right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I think we wasted enough of these good people's time at this point.
Yeah. So again, please leave us comments, or if you have questions, you can find me on fullvolumesolutions.com. Eric?
Where can you find me? Oh, that's right. Tacticalattorney.com. Tacticalattorney.com. You can probably Google my YouTube page that I'm slowly building up as well. So check that out. And man, if you made it this far, send us an email. Murray will send you a free T-shirt from his company.
Yeah, I just got to get them made first, but
Yeah.
we'll start a list. We'll start a request list.
All right. Good cast. Good cast.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. See ya.
Peace.